Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki and here are the headlines we're tracking this hour.
Together, we shall demonstrate that democracy is better and democracy deliver.
In an hour-long address to the US Congress, Prime Minister Modi says the India-US partnership will define the 21st century, touts the power of democracies in a speech punctuated by applause on multiple occasions.
काश मुझ में भी गाने की कला होती तो मैं भी आपको कुछ सुनाता.
President Biden hosts a glittering star-studded state dinner for Prime Minister Modi. Mukesh Ambani, Anand Mahindra, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Sam Altman and Zerodha's Nikhil Kamath were among the nearly 400 guests invited for the dinner. US semiconductor maker Micron will get dollar-for-dollar incentives for its Gujarat plant, says IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. Adds that Foxconn and Vedanta have been asked to submit a fresh proposal. Expects one more major semiconductor unit to be announced in the next 12 months. Stock markets end the day and the week with losses. All sectoral indices end in the red for the week. IT stocks slide after Accenture tightens revenue outlook. Adani Group stocks see a sharp fall. US drug regulator says it is unfortunate to see data integrity issues resurface in India. Top official Sarah Macmillan says quality culture remains a big concern. That's an exclusive. More trouble for Byju's after Deloitte resigned as the company's auditor along with 3 directors on the board. Sources say the government has ordered an inspection to probe governance lapses. Last week, Byju's denies the report and calls it speculative. Leaders from 15 opposition parties gathered in Patna to chalk out a roadmap for 2024 elections. Rahul Gandhi says together the opposition can defeat the BJP. Home Minister Amit Shah dismisses the meeting, calls it a photo op. All 5 people on board the Titanic Submersible are believed to have been killed in a catastrophic implosion. Major fragments of the vessel, including its tailbone, found in the debris. The sub went missing last Sunday, 1 hour and 45 minutes into its scheduled 11-hour dive to the wreckage of the Titanic.
Two great nations and 2 great powers. Cheers.
There have been even more momentous development in another AI, America and India.
Tech and defense deals, a thrust on dialogue and diplomacy and invocation of democratic values at the US Congress, is the home stretch of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first state visit to the United States. Both Modi and Joe Biden believe this visit could herald a new chapter in the relationship. Delivering an hour-long speech before US lawmakers, Prime Minister Modi said the India-US partnership will define the 21st century. Prime Minister Modi also touted the power of democracies in a speech punctuated by applause on multiple occasions. It was not just business and bilaterals. There was plenty of banter as well at the Gala state dinner hosted by President Joe Biden, which saw a star-studded gathering.
Toast to our partnership, to our people, to the possibilities that lie ahead, to 2 great friends, 2 great nations, and 2 great powers. Cheers.
It was a toast to remember as the leaders from both the nations raised their glasses at the state dinner hosted in honor of Prime Minister Modi.
मेहमान नवाजी से प्रभावित होकर कई बार आपके मेहमान गाना भी गाने लगते हैं। काश मुझ में भी गाने की कला होती तो मैं भी आपको कुछ सुनाता। जैसे जैसे समय गुजर रहा है, हमारे लोगों में और एक दूसरे के प्रति समझ और बढ़ रही है, एक दूसरे के नामों का सही उच्चारण कर पाते हैं, एक दूसरे के एक्सेंट को समझ पाते हैं। भारत में बच्चे हैलोवीन पर स्पाइडरमैन बनते हैं और अमेरिका के युवा नाटू नाटू पर डांस करते हैं।
But before the banter, it was strictly business. President Biden and Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks at the White House. A flurry of deals across defense, artificial intelligence, and aerospace were announced.
हमने निर्णय लिया है कि व्यापार से जुड़े लंबित मुद्दों को समाप्त कर नई शुरुआत की जाए। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, सेमीकंडक्टर्स, स्पेस, क्वांटम और टेलीकॉम जैसे क्षेत्रों में अपना सहयोग बढ़ाकर हम एक मजबूत और फ्यूचरिस्टिक साझेदारी की रचना कर रहे हैं। अमेरिका की माइक्रोन, गूगल तथा अप्लाइड मटेरियल जैसी कंपनियों द्वारा भारत में निवेश करने का निर्णय इस फ्यूचरिस्टिक साझेदारी का प्रतीक है।
We're straightforward with each other and we respect each other. One of the fundamental reasons that I believe the U.S.-China relationship is not in the space it is in the U.S.-Indian relationship is that there's an overwhelming respect for each other because we're both democracies.
Prime Minister Modi was also questioned by a Wall Street Journal reporter on alleged religious discrimination in India.
India has long prided itself as the world's largest democracy, but there are many human rights groups who say that your government has discriminated against religious minorities and sought to silence its critics. As you stand here in the east room of the White House, where so many world leaders have made commitments to protecting democracy, what steps are you and your government willing to take to improve the rights of Muslims and other minorities in your country and to uphold free speech?
मुझे आश्चर्य हो रहा है कि आप कह रहे हैं कि लोग कहते हैं नहीं, भारत डेमोक्रेसी है। और जैसा राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन ने कहा, भारत और अमेरिका दोनों के डीएनए में लोकतंत्र है।
Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's commitment to democratic values while addressing a joint session of the US Congress. His one-hour-long speech was punctuated with applause and standing ovations.
Every 100 miles, our cuisine changes from dosa to aloo paratha and from Sikhan to sandesh. We enjoy all of this. We are home to all faiths in the world and we celebrate all of them.
After the political and diplomatic commitments, it was time for Prime Minister Modi to attend a star-studded state dinner hosted by the Bidens. Top business leaders from India and US were in attendance. This included Neeta and Mukesh Ambani, Anand Mahindra, Zerodha's Nikhil Kamath, and global CEOs like Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Sam Altman of OpenAI, among others. Both President Biden and Prime Minister Modi believe this state visit will herald a new chapter in Indo-US ties. Bureau Report, CNBC-TV18.
Prime Minister Modi's US visit paved the way for crucial deals to be signed between the two countries. Parikshit Luthra is here with details. Parikshit.
Well, India and US have laid out their technology partnership for the future. Let's look at semiconductors first. Micron will be setting up a semiconductor assembly and testing facility in Gujarat. Micron, the central government and Gujarat government will together invest $2.75 billion. Applied Materials will invest $400 million in a semiconductor innovation center. Lam Research will train 60,000 Indian engineers in semiconductor fabrication. Second, Defense Industrial Cooperation saw a big breakthrough. The GE-HAL deal, which has been signed, will lead to co-production of F414 engines in India. This deal will enable greater technology transfer than ever before. India has also announced that it will procure 31 MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones from General Atomics. US Navy has signed a mastership repair agreement with L&T and is finalizing deals with Musgao Dock and Goa Shipyard as well. A new defense industrial cooperation roadmap has also been agreed upon for greater supply chain linkages between defense companies in US and India. Thirdly, with regard to space cooperation, India has signed the Artemis Accord, 26-nation grouping for exploration of Moon, Mars and beyond. Now, NASA and ISRO will be working on launching a joint effort to International Space Station in 2024. And they've also agreed upon a strategic framework for human spaceflight by 2023. Fourthly, the mineral sector was an important deliverable. India's Epsilon Carbon will invest $650 million in an EV battery component factory in the United States. This would be the largest ever Indian investment in US EV battery sector. India has also entered the Mineral Security Partnership, a 12-nation plus Europe grouping aimed at diversifying and securing critical mineral supply chains. Fifthly, in the aviation sector, Boeing has announced a $100 million investment in programs to train pilots in India. The sixth point, and this is good news for Indian skilled professionals, US will launch a pilot project for domestic renewal of H-1B and L visa holders. US will open new consulates in Bengaluru and Ahmedabad, and India would be opening a new consulate in Seattle. In the field of optical fiber, Sterlite Technologies has invested $100 million in an optical fiber cable manufacturing unit in South Carolina. And finally, US and India also launched a $2 million grant program for joint development and commercial applications of artificial intelligence and quantum technologies as well. So this visit was clearly very high on substance and deliverables.
All right, thank you, Parikshit, for that comprehensive update. Meanwhile, India and the US have laid out their technology partnership for the future. Let's look at the semiconductors first. Micron will set up a semiconductor assembly and testing facility in Gujarat. Micron's central government and Gujarat will together invest $2.75 billion. Applied Materials will invest $400 million in a semiconductor innovation center. Lam Research will train 60,000 Indian engineers in semiconductor fabrication. Second, Defense Industrial Cooperation also saw a big breakthrough. GE-HAL have signed an MOU on co-production of F414 engines. This deal will enable greater tech transfer than ever before. So these are some of the key takeaways that have emerged from the big deals that have been signed between the two countries. And as I was speaking about semiconductor major Micron, that will get dollar for dollar incentives. This has been said by IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. He spoke with Shireen Bhan about Micron's investment in Gujarat to set up a semiconductor testing facility. Vaishnav also spoke about Vedanta and Foxconn submitting a fresh proposal. He expects one more big announcement on semiconductors in 12 months.
Let me address the Micron issue, sir. When do you expect the facility to be operationalized? What's the indication given by the company? And also, what is the approved capacity that's been cleared for Micron specifically?
So land allocation has been practically done. The design for the plant is practically frozen. The construction agencies are getting finalized. So we expect that within 6 quarters from now, the production should start. As you know, Micron is the leading memory memory manufacturer in the world. So a series of products in the memory value chain, they will all be manufactured here. And I wouldn't be able to put a full a complete number on which particular memory will be how much capacity, but the overall, when the plant ramps up to its full production, the revenue from the top line, the turnover from this plant will be of the order of $1 billion per annum.
There was a lot of speculation on whether the likes of Intel are in dialogue with the Indian government. Are we likely to see some other large semiconductor players looking at investing in India? Is that what you're suggesting we should look forward to?
Yes, that's correct. I wouldn't like to take any names, but there is very good interest. So let me put the entire context. The semiconductor industry is growing from $650 billion to $1 trillion over the next 5, 6 years, 7 years. That's the kind of growth which the industry is seeing. The talent that will be required is of the order of 1 million new talent required in this industry. Where is that talent? That talent is in India. Where is the focus on ecosystem? That focus on ecosystem, making sure that the logistics, the power supply, the water supply, the chemicals, gases, design, everything is put in place in a very comprehensive program. That's coming in India. So when I met about 45 companies in US in the semiconductor industry, ranging from equipment manufacturers to fabs to design to software to people who are consulting with the semiconductor industry, each one of them very clearly said that India's approach is the right approach, and this is the approach which will create the next big semiconductor industry in the world.
Specifically on the Vedanta Foxconn venture, there's been a lot of back and forth on where things currently stand. Is that likely to move forward or not? If you can clarify on both these, sir.
We have asked them to resubmit under the new window so that it can be evaluated afresh. And once they resubmit their proposal, we will be able to evaluate it and give the correct assessment.
All right, let's shift our focus to markets this week. Stock markets end the day and the week with losses. All sectoral indices end in the red for the week. IT stocks slide after Accenture tightens revenue outlook. Adani Group stocks also saw a sharp fall. And it's time for a short break, but when we return, US drug regulator says it's unfortunate to see data integrity issues resurface in India. Top US FDA official speaks exclusively to CNBC-TV18. More on that when we return. Welcome back. A US drug regulator has said it's unfortunate to see data integrity issues resurface in India. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, US FDA's top official Sarah Macmillan has said that quality culture in India remains a concern. She added that the regulator is reaching out to more stakeholders to increase consciousness about quality and compliance.
I think one of the things, and it's been highlighted here at this conference this week as well, is quality culture and ensuring that firms implement quality cultures that can retain a consistent state of compliance. A lot of times facilities are at a marginal state of compliance, and so that might result in one compliant inspection, one non-compliant inspection, and it really gives a lot of variability, and it's hard for us to trust the consistent quality coming from those facilities. What we would prefer is for firms to retain a higher state of quality so that even fluctuations would still keep them above a minimum state of compliance. Globally, there's always concerns with quality, but I think in India specifically, we're seeing a high number of facilities that are non-compliant. And as I was mentioning earlier, a lot of that's coming because we're in facilities that were previously non-compliant, so we would expect to see a higher average. But we also would expect and hope that over the 2 years of the pandemic, that some of the corrective actions could have been implemented in a way that would have been more consistent with maintaining a state of quality in the facilities.
And what about the number of OAIs or official action indicated? Has the number risen post-COVID, and why do you think so?
So the number has risen post-COVID, and we're seeing that because we're back in the facilities that were previously non-compliant. While we do see quality issues across a range of concerns, through the manufacturing facility itself, it's disappointing to see data integrity resurface as an issue again. And so, for us, data integrity is a critical concern because that throws into doubt any of the data that the firm is presenting to us. And so it really makes us question the ability of that firm to manufacture compliant products.
The World Economic Forum has written a comprehensive report tackling the key question on the role of artificial intelligence in healthcare. The report takes a deep dive into how AI powered by machine learning and deep learning techniques can address the mounting challenges in healthcare, from shortage of frontline workers to widening health disparities. My colleague Ekta Batra caught up with one of the authors of this report, Shyam Bishen, the head of healthcare at World Economic Forum, and spoke to him about the key takeaways. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Artificial intelligence-driven diagnosis, infectious disease intelligence, and clinical trial optimizations are among the applications where these technologies show the highest potential. We have also found that international public-private collaboration will be crucial to overcome adoption challenges and drive artificial intelligence integration in healthcare worldwide. India is on the forefront of this. India has been using AI in many areas on the diagnosis side, and I think there is an opportunity here for India to further accelerate the use of artificial intelligence.
Can you give us more examples of successful usage of AI in healthcare? How has it helped in terms of diagnosis? How has it helped in terms of reducing costs?
The best way to bend the healthcare cost curve and allow people to live longer, healthier lives is to treat more people before they become sick. So that's where the diagnosis comes in the picture. AI holds vast and largely untapped promise to diagnose a range of diseases, such as cancer. We have seen the use of AI in diagnosing breast cancer. The second example I would say is on improving infectious disease intelligence. We saw that COVID-19 had a profound negative effect on global health in terms of lives lost, declining mental health, strained national health system, and unprecedented healthcare worker burnout. Now that's where I believe that the AI can help in terms of finding the diseases, finding pathogens sooner rather than later, catching them at the earlier stage, and then providing the data to private sector to develop medical countermeasures.
And that's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to CNBC TV18. Editors Roundtable, our Friday special, is on the other side.